What do you get when you mix sun, surf, and savvy economic management? A $1.98 trillion economy that's been growing since the last 29 years. We're talking about Australia. But here's the $1.98 trillion question. How did they do it? How did a country known for its deadly animals and quirky slang become an economic powerhouse that's the envy of the developed world? Let's find out. Australia has established itself as a significant player in the global economy. As of 2023, it's ranked as the 13th largest national economy by nominal GDP and the 19th largest by PPP-adjusted GDP. These impressive rankings highlight Australia's economic strength on the world stage. But what's truly remarkable is Australia's record-breaking run of uninterrupted GDP growth. In March 2017, Australia achieved an unprecedented milestone in the developed world: 103 consecutive quarters, or 26 years, without experiencing a technical recession. This extraordinary feat speaks volumes about the stability and resilience of the Australian economy. To put this into perspective, let's look at some numbers. As of June 2021, Australia's GDP was estimated at a staggering $1.98 trillion. This figure not only represents the sheer size of the Australian economy, but also underscores its consistent growth over the years. We can attribute this sustained growth to several factors. First things first, the service sector in Australia is a juggernaut, accounting for a staggering 62.7% of the country's GDP as of 2017. But it's not just about its contribution to GDP. The service sector is also the largest employer in the country, providing jobs for 78.8% of the labor force. These numbers paint a clear picture of a modern, developed economy where services reign supreme. What exactly constitutes the service sector? It's a broad category that includes everything from financial services and healthcare to education, tourism, and professional services. The strength of this sector lies in its diversity, which provides stability and resilience to the overall economy. One of the standout performers in Australia's service sector is the financial services industry. The Australian Securities Exchange in Sydney is the 16th largest stock exchange in the world in terms of domestic market capitalization. Moreover, Australia has one of the largest interest rate derivatives markets in the Asia-Pacific region. This sophisticated financial market provides tools for managing risk and attracts significant international capital, further boosting the economy. The dominance of the service sector is reflected in the list of Australia's largest companies. Names like Commonwealth Bank, Westpac, NAB, ANZ, and Macquarie Group, all financial institutions, feature prominently among the country's corporate giants. These companies not only contribute significantly to GDP, but also provide employment for thousands of Australians and drive innovation in the financial sector. But it's not just about banking and finance. Australia's education sector, particularly higher education, is a major export earner. Australian universities attract students from around the world, contributing billions to the economy through tuition fees and living expenses. The reputation of Australian education also enhances the country's soft power and builds long-term international relationships that can lead to future trade and investment opportunities. Tourism is another crucial component of Australia's service sector. The country's unique natural beauty, from the Great Barrier Reef to the Outback, along with its vibrant cities, attracts millions of visitors each year. While the COVID-19 pandemic temporarily disrupted this industry, its long-term prospects remain strong, and it continues to be a significant contributor to the economy. The healthcare sector is also a major player in Australia's service economy. With an aging population and increasing demand for health services, this sector is set for continued growth. While the service sector dominates Australia's economy, we can't overlook the significant role that mining continues to play in the country's economic growth. The mining industry has been a cornerstone of Australia's economy for generations, and its importance persists to this day. Let's start with some numbers to put things into perspective. At the height of the mining boom in 2009 and 10, the total value added of the mining industry was 8.4% of GDP. While this percentage has declined since then, mining remains a crucial contributor to Australia's economic output and export earnings. The importance of mining in Australia's economy dates back to the gold rushes of the 1840s. These early mining booms laid the foundation for Australia's economic development, attracting capital investment and spurring infrastructure development. Fast forward to today, and we see that mining continues to play a similar role, albeit on a much larger scale and with a more diverse range of resources. The mining industry's importance extends beyond its direct contribution to GDP. It's a major source of export earnings, helping to maintain Australia's balance of trade. In 2016, exports to East and Southeast Asian countries, many of which are driven by resource demand, accounted for about 64% of Australia's total exports. Mining also plays a crucial role in regional development. Many mining operations are located in remote areas of Australia, bringing economic activity and employment opportunities to these regions. This has led to the development of entire towns and communities around mining projects, contributing to the broader goal of balanced regional development. Moreover, the mining industry drives significant investment in infrastructure. Railways, ports, and energy infrastructure developed for mining projects often have spillover benefits for other industries and local communities. The industry also spurs innovation, with Australian mining technology and services becoming valuable exports in their own right. However, it's important to note that the mining industry is not without its challenges. The sector is known for its boom and bust cycles, which can create economic volatility. The 2020 recession, while primarily triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic, was exacerbated by falling commodity prices, highlighting the risks of over-reliance on resource exports. Another key driver of Australia's economic growth has been its strong engagement with international trade and its strategic economic partnerships. Australia's economy is deeply intertwined with the countries of East and Southeast Asia, a region known as ASEAN Plus 3, or APT. This economic relationship is not just significant, it's dominant. In 2016, a remarkable 64% of Australia's exports were destined for these countries. This statistic underscores the importance of Asia to Australia's economic prosperity. At the forefront of these relationships is China, which stands out as Australia's main export and import partner by a wide margin. The economic ties between Australia and China have been a major factor in Australia's economic growth over the past 2 decades. China's rapid industrialization and urbanization have driven demand for Australian resources, particularly iron ore, coal, and liquefied natural gas. This demand has been a key factor in sustaining Australia's mining industry and contributing to its overall economic growth. However, Australia's international economic engagement extends far beyond its Asian neighbours. The country is an active participant in various international economic forums and organizations. Australia is a member of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, which promotes free trade throughout the Asia-Pacific region. It's also part of the G20, a forum for the world's major economies, giving Australia a voice in global economic governance. Furthermore, Australia is a member of the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, a group of mostly high-income countries committed to democracy and the market economy. This membership not only reflects Australia's status as a developed economy, but also provides opportunities for policy exchange and cooperation with other advanced economies. In addition to these multilateral engagements, Australia has been proactive in pursuing bilateral and regional free trade agreements, or FTAs. These agreements have opened up new markets for Australian goods and services, driving economic growth and diversification. Each of these agreements brings unique benefits to the Australian economy. For instance, the FTA with China has significantly boosted Australia's agricultural exports, while the agreement with the United States has enhanced opportunities in the service sector. The Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, which includes several of Australia's key trading partners, is another example of Australia's commitment to open trade. A particularly noteworthy agreement is the Australia-New Zealand Closer Economic Relations Trade Agreement, or ANZ-CETA. This agreement has greatly increased economic integration between Australia and New Zealand, creating what is essentially a single economic market across the Tasman Sea. This close economic relationship provides benefits in terms of trade, investment, and labour mobility. These international economic engagements have several benefits for Australia's economy. They provide Australian businesses with access to larger markets, allowing them to achieve economies of scale and become more competitive globally. They also expose Australian industries to international international competition, driving innovation and productivity improvements. Moreover, these agreements often extend beyond just trade in goods. Many include provisions for services trade, investment, and regulatory cooperation. This comprehensive approach helps to create a more integrated and efficient business environment, further supporting economic growth. While Australia's economy has demonstrated remarkable resilience and growth over the past few decades, it's not without its challenges. One of the most pressing challenges facing Australia is the issue of economic inequality. Despite overall economic growth, poverty remains a significant concern. A 2022 report by ACOSS revealed that an estimated 3.3 million people, or 13.5% of the population, were living below the poverty line. This includes 761,000 children under the age of 15. Even more concerning is the situation of Indigenous Australians, with 30% of Indigenous households experiencing income poverty. Homelessness is another challenge that has persisted despite economic growth. The number of homeless people in Australia increased by 14% in the 5 years to 2016, reaching 116,000 people on census night. This highlights the need for economic growth to be inclusive and to address housing affordability and social support systems. The COVID-19 pandemic brought about new challenges for the Australian economy. In September 2020, Australia entered its first recession in nearly 30 years due to the pandemic's effects. While the recession was relatively short-lived, ending in December 2020, its impacts continued to be felt across various sectors of the economy. Looking at more recent data, we can see that Australia's economy is recovering, but challenges remain. In the June quarter of 2023, GDP grew by 0.2% on a quarterly basis, in line with economists' forecasts. However, on a per capita basis, GDP contracted by 0.4%, extending a record retreat that began at the start of 2023. This per capita GDP contraction highlights a key challenge for Australia: maintaining economic growth in the face of a rapidly growing population. When population growth has masked some of the economic pain caused by interest rate rises, it also puts pressure on infrastructure, housing, and public services. Another challenge is the transition of the economy in response to global trends. The mining sector, while still important, has seen its relative contribution to the economy decline from its peak. This underscores the need for Australia to continue diversifying its economy and developing new areas of competitive advantage. Despite these challenges, there are reasons for optimism about Australia's economic future. The country's strong institutions, skilled workforce, and strategic location in the Asia-Pacific region provide a solid foundation for future growth. The service sector, which already dominates the economy, has potential for future expansion. Areas such as financial services, education, healthcare, and professional services are well positioned to tap into growing global demand. Australia's high-quality education system in particular could further capitalize on the growing global demand for international education. Technology and innovation present another avenue for growth. While Australia has sometimes lagged behind in areas like manufacturing, it has the potential to become a leader in emerging technologies. Fields such as biotechnology, renewable energy, and digital technologies could drive future economic growth. Australia's trade relationships, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region, will continue to be crucial. As Asian economies continue to grow and develop, demand for Australian goods and services is likely to increase. However, managing these relationships, particularly with China, will require careful diplomacy and economic strategy. The Australian government's economic policies will play a key role in shaping the country's economic future, balancing the need for fiscal responsibility with investments in infrastructure, education, and innovation will be crucial. Policies to address housing affordability, support for disadvantaged communities, and measures to ensure the benefits of economic growth are widely shared will also be important. We've uncovered the secrets behind the lucky country's remarkable 29-year growth streak and peered into the crystal ball of its economic future. If you like this video, be sure to check out our video on the decline of the French economy.